about 7, 8 full blacked up, like dressed hooligans from Bulgaria turn round the corner and start walking towards us. And we were getting approached by the guys who were probably in the stadium doing the Nazi salutes.
Yeah.
Craziest thing you've ever seen at football? Hit me. I guess actually there's I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I saw you boys on another podcast and you were speaking about the racism in
Oh yeah, that's the craziest.
Was that in Bulgaria? No.
That was Bulgaria.
Right.
That was just like thinking back to it now.
Have you heard this story, Stevie?
No.
I've heard it, but I could sit here and listen all day. Like,
I mean, we'll start off. I mean, obviously, we go to a country, we go there with positivity, don't we, Thea? We want to see good things. We're not looking for the negative.
Similar to Russia. We'd been to Russia.
Yes.
And it was the same sort of outlook going into Bulgaria. People expected pretty bad things to go down. But this time, things did go down and they were bad. And we saw them with our own eyes.
I mean, we went to a stadium near the national ground and
a couple of days before.
Theo,
so a couple of days before the actual game.
What game was it, sorry?
It was England-Bulgaria. I think it was a Euro qualifiers.
And it weren't too long ago, was it?
It wasn't. No, it was just a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I remember watching it. I was watching it at home, and they stopped. The players stopped the game midway, I believe.
Yeah, they did.
The players stopped the
half.
game. I think Sterling was getting racially abused, and maybe Sancho was there as well. I can't remember, but a few of the black players for England were getting like some horrific abuse. And anyway, so a few days before, talk me through.
So I'll describe. So we went to a local stadium, take some pictures, have a beer, walk around. It was this park, and there were these stickers everywhere. The football stickers that the Ultras put all over the place.
Yeah.
But these stickers were swastikas. These stickers were a picture of a black guy with a white woman with a cross through it saying they should never just pure nasty,
no
racist,
mixing.
offensive, homophobic, pure nasty stickers. But they'd obviously been up for a long time. No one was taking them down.
This was the local club ground right next to the international stadium in Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. And Bulgaria. First of all, I don't think I've ever been to a place and been more worried in the moment.
Tense,
I remember saying to my dad, like, this was after we saw the stickers, after we'd spoken to England fans on the strip, saying, you know what? I went into a certain park around to the international ground where there was like you could walk around just to see what the city's like, and they got ambushed and beaten up. There was a Bolton fan that met us, and he had like a rock thrown at his back of his head. He was bleeding. He had to be rushed to hospital.
Was he a black guy? Or was
No. It was just.
So he's just getting abused
just because he's English.
Oh right,
and
wow.
This was the kind of.
So it's not always just racism as well. It's
no.
an array of if you're different, it's
any tourist.
It was just a nastiness
hate
in
it.
the air. So you know how England fans, you all congregate, you go to the same pubs, and you swap stories. And there were so many of these stories.
Yeah.
And the worst one, and I wish this was investigated, a guy died.
Yeah.
Under really mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I think he'd been out on the absolute piss and he'd maybe taken something, so what,
But he ended up at the hospital and apparently,
accompanied by police.
Yeah, accompanied by police. Next thing we hear from a news perspective from Bulgaria is he's dead.
They found his body 30 kilometres away or something.
Yeah, look, but how he's gone from being in the hospital for, I don't know, maybe taking something or having a few beers to being 30 kilometres outside of Sofia and his body's being found. Nobody knows. But all we know is the police found him there, and it's just a crazy story. And it wasn't really spoken about enough at the time.
A dozen stories of, people just coming in, with wounds or something saying, oh yeah, I was ambushed. And all that nasty. We get to the ground, we go in, and you knew what was going on. You knew that over there's just hundreds of black-clad Bulgarian ultras just, doing Nazi salutes, making monkey noises. The England players
they agreed a minute in the game where they would all basically do Nazi salutes, and every time someone like Sterling was on the ball, Tyrone Mings, who played that day, they just boo him. And it wasn't just the ultras. It was like a lot of the Bulgarian fans in their section were just getting involved in it, and it was just a real shock. Like we'd seen things in the build-up. I remember tweeting the stickers. I don't know if you saw that, but nobody expected the levels that we saw that day.
Yeah,
it was absolute. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Yeah, and then at half-time, all these ultras they went off. There's no police and stewards stopping them.
It was shocking.
They all went off together. Of course, they're waiting for England fans outside the ground.
What at full time?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're in the ground, because sometimes when you watch it at home and there's there's people being racist in the crowd, sometimes that's lost through the telly. That's like you hear it after and you think, oh, like, I didn't hear that as a spectator sat at home. Is it really obvious when you're in there?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, we knew what was going on. And the great thing was, I mean, Raheem Sterling had a great day. So here's, one of our black players just showing you how to play football.
Oh, it was
and
brilliant.
We came up with this chant. England fans were magnificent because we were happy for the players to walk off, even though we'd travel all the way to Bulgaria.
What was the chant again?
Who put the ball in the racist net?
Nah,
Raheem Sterling. We're coming up with these chants.
Yeah.
Who put the ball in the racist net? Who put the ball in the racist net? Who put the ball in the racist net? Raheem Sterling.
Hey,
that was brilliant.
Yeah.
And just to get that one off them, like, it was nice to get that.
But
he had a great game as well. And Tyrone Mings was brilliant too.
Yeah.
We were magnificent. Anyway, after the game, we kept behind for a while. And then we had to walk out. And there was no way of getting an Uber. We had to walk about 3 miles back to our hotel.
Oh, this was...
But before you left the ground, did you know they could potentially be waiting outside?
For the first mile or so, the police were walking with us.
Right.
But then it was a case of, right, you're on your own
This
now.
is a free-for-all that moment on through like the depths of Sofia at night
Yeah.
to get back to our hotel on the other side of town. No taxis because at that time they decided there was literally no running about.
Yeah.
There was no way of getting back apart from walking.
So we met up randomly with 2 Bolton fans, Jack and Mike. One of them's like a 15-year-old lad, one's a dad.
Yeah.
So it's basically 2 lads and 2 dads walking back to a hotel on the outskirts. And on the way, we saw them stickers. We're taking a photo. And behind us, we're like, oh no, there's like 8 or 10 black-clad Bulgarians.
What was it that was said on that kind of grey bin? I forgot what it was said. It was
it was a piece of
something.
graffiti.
Some England fan has like put some graffiti on there. Said like
no to racism or something.
Yeah, no, just like F the racist or something. I remember taking a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's still on my phone today. The moment we took a photo of that, like I'd say about 7, 8 full blacked up, like dressed hooligans from Bulgaria turn round the corner and start walking towards us. It was all one big trap. We knew it. The moment I took a photo of this, they'd walked around, realised they were going to get some England fans, seeing that. And we were getting approached by the guys who were probably in the stadium doing the Nazi salutes.
Yeah. So luckily, I'd sort of been walking around this area and I knew there was a hotel around the corner that was closer than our hotel.
Oh, so not the one you were
I was
staying.
Sort of saying to the 3 of them, right, guys, we know that how far they are behind. Be ready to run. Anyway, we get into this lobby. We go into the lobby.
No, but before we do, Dad,
go on.
before we do get into the lobby, we see people in front of us now. We've got people behind us, these hooligans, all in black. Now in front of us, we see a group coming towards us. And we're like, who's this group? Like, I remember we were just walking towards them because we had no other option. I remember like a police car, luckily, coming up to the right and kind of just watching what's going on because something dodgy was seriously about to go down.
I bet you were shitting it.
Oh, I was. I thought I was just ready to absolutely leg it. I'm not one for fighting,
Yeah.
especially against these geezers. I mean, but the problem is we were with 2 other guys who, they've never been in a situation like this as well.
Yeah.
And I think, Dad, you were ready to fight.
Well, it's like,
you were. No, you were like fist clinch. I remember like looking at you in fight or flight mode.
Well, fight or flight. Yeah, me and this other, but the trouble was it's 2 kids and 2 dads. The 2 dads would throw a couple of punches and then get mobbed,
And we'd maybe run away.
So we made it to this lobby and then 10 minutes later, some England fan comes in, blood pissing down his face.
Yeah.
He's like, I just got jumped outside. So they were hooligans.
But
they were ultras.
Yeah. But Dad, before we got to the hotel, it actually turned out that the people in front of us were England fans, and luckily it wasn't hooligans on either side of us in terms of Bulgarians. And that's what luckily they basically spoke to us, told us to get into this hotel, and that's when the story happened about the guy coming in.
Oh my God, horrific!
Yeah,
horrific.
But we were saved.
But Thogdad was ready for a scrap.
He was.
Wow. You've got to be on your toes, haven't you?
I never
spill a bit of claret now and again.
He loves it.
I would have been a director, possibly the chairman, would have had a shareholding, and it would have been a labour of love. It wasn't about the money. The moment you buy a football club or talking about potentially buying a football club, you're in the newspapers.